leg continues here in Belgium when Daf Sanchez is on pole from Kazuki Takahana and Ash Cornwell. Casper LeBeau second in points is fourth from Guillermo Perez and Danny Ortega. Remy LeBeau is seventh from Nicholas Palomino and Matthew Hart. Then it's Vita Alves running out the top 10 with Daniel Bonstava right behind. Your boy starts 12th from Davy Circarera and Lam Fong, and Sebastian Ocampo in 15th from Ray Shen and Ahmed Cilia. 18th place is Nunez Garcia, then it's Charles Hernandez and Versleo with the back row, and Francis Austin and Dominic Vancelao. Season 6, Race 7. It's another international race. The ChampCar Trophy of Belgium gets underway now, and it's a great start off the line from Daf Sanchez. Sims Takahana getting covered off by the number 72 as they come down to La Source. What a run for Ash Cornwell, side by side and up into second as Remy LeBeau gets a 5-second time penalty as they head down the hill and into our route to Dale Coyne number 96. Now a race winner in FG Series. Look at that from Kazuki Takahana going side by side as they head down the long Kemmel Straight here in Spa-Francorchamps. But for Daf Sanchez, he just about manages to hold on to the race lead by defending from the 11. What about the 34 who moves up into third place? Can't go any further than that. Cornwell defends quite well. Vita Alves has dropped down to 11th after getting a track limits warning. But aside from that, a very, very strong start for the Hyperdrive number 72 in his title defense. A lot of the title defenses so far this season going quite well as we go on board with Ash Cornwell, coming back from a win in the FG Series in Austin. Remy LeBeau's just moved past his son up into 4th place as Ahmed Cilia getting a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision in that number 72 car, is it? No, it's the 78 Conquest Racing car. But as they rise through White Mountain, officially Blanchimont, but it translates to White Mountain, Takahana needs a pretty good run into the bus stop chicane to get past Daf Sanchez, and well, he doesn't quite have it. We go on to lap 2 of 11. It's the least amount of laps of any race on the calendar as Ahmed Cilia getting a 10-second time penalty for causing collisions. Having a very scruffy outing here in Belgium as we go on board with Ash Cornwell. And Cornwell, he comes into this race with momentum. Yes, he crashed out in Germany, flew back to the US for the FG Series race, and he finds himself as a race winner as Remy LeBeau with attack mode heading down the straight moves up into 3rd place. Meanwhile, Sims Takahana tried to get past Daf Sanchez, but he just punched in the fastest opening sector with the fastest opening sector of any track on the calendar. In fact, there's only really one breaking point, and that is turn 1, La Source. Otherwise, it is a long straight, about, what is it, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers in length, because Eau Rouge Radion is basically flat out these days. Cornwell now having to try and get past Remy LeBeau, the season 20 Formula E debutant, having a championship to his name in Formula E. Tried to go after the ChampCar World Series Championship last season, but now this season finds himself struggling to get some very good finishes, and it's not through lack of trying. That Forsyth car has a lot of pace underneath it, as we can see Matthew Hart moving up into 5th place. Now a race winner in the ERL moves up into 5th, getting past Casper. Both of them race winners in the ChampCar World Series. It's into the pits for Danny Ortega and Casper LeBeau. His dad Remy now with the fastest lap of 1:13.9. So they head down the hill into Eau Rouge Radion again. Takahana. Now he's trying to take the lead away from Daf Sanchez. Takahana, of course, yet to take a race win in any ERL category. It took his dad 5 seasons to do such an activity. And now he just really is struggling to get past Daf Sanchez here. Sanchez, of course, very good at defense. We've seen that a lot. That hexagon-laced honeycomb Sims racing car, not able to really follow with the Hyperdrive racing man in front of him. So on board with Daf Sanchez, and he's the only man out there with truly fresh, clean air in front of him. Yes, Danny Ortega in 19th after coming out of the pits. He's got something similar as we look back with the Beyblade X sponsored Hyperdrive Racing number 72. And that gap has moved into... That gap became 1.1 seconds for a second there, but that Sims car, I don't know what it is about that number 11, but now really with a good run as Cornwell moves up into 3rd place, almost trying to force it around the outside. He'll have the inside for the second after the bus stop, and he takes 3rd as the top 4 all dive down to pit lane. Matthew Hart, winner of the ChampCar Trophy of Germany, now leads on lap 4 of 11. He's got Guillermo Perez behind him. We saw last season that the soft tyres are really brittle when you push them any further than 3 laps, and now 10% for Sir Carrera, something similar, I'm sure, for Matthew Hart. Yes, 13%. So the Forsyth a lot kinder on its tyres than the Hyperdrive. And as they come out of the pits, Sanchez is on the soft, so the second stint for the Philippine driver certainly trying to be a lot faster and a lot less kind on those tyres. There goes his teammate up into 2nd. Takahana does not lead the drivers who have come in. It's Danny Ortega, the Spaniard, who leads everyone who's come down pit lane. 2% for Davi Sir Carrera, the Brazilian driver, with a puncture imminent. 5% for Matthew Hart. 12% for Perez, and what is it for Garcia? It's 2%. As on board with Davi Sir Carrera, it's gone. Front puncture, side puncture. It's going to be a full car puncture for that 19 as Nunez Garcia comes up to meet him. Also hitting 0 and hitting him into the back. Spin! Whoa! That is massive. That is unbelievable. Flip almost there for the 23. Oh, that's Ocampo getting into it as well. But we get green again somehow. Full car puncture for Ray Shen as well. It's lap 4. Casper LeBeau's just run into the Chinese driver. It's now got massive front wing damage. But we are finally back under the green flags. Massive front wing damage for Danny Ortega as well. So for the man who leads everyone who's come into the pits, that title is going to go to Daniel Bogdasarov in terms of who's your net race leader. Perez has got a brilliant gap now versus Theo with a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision with Ray Chen, as we got yellows in sector 3. Who is that for? I don't know. It's Matthew Hart with that full car puncture. That infamous activity as it's facing sideways for Davi Sir Carrera. Looks like contact with his countryman versus Theo. And here in Belgium, the longest lap of the calendar, these tyres just gave up. Already, we're on to lap 5. Perez leads from Takahana. Almost, yes. And now Daf Sanchez, but he's got a 5-second time penalty into the wall again for Casper LeBeau. Cornwell's got a 5-second time penalty hanging over his head as well. It's only lap 5 as Vanselau's come from the back to now 10th place in front of the man second in points coming into this race, Casper LeBeau. 5 seconds is the margin between Perez and Takahana. You go on board with Daf Sanchez trying to make the pass up into second. Shows Takahana how to do it. Try and force your opponent as far off the track as possible, but Takahana saw it coming. So now Sims, Katsuki Sims that is, running up in second, trying to defend. Coming through the corner with no name into Blanchimont there. And Sanchez holding it around the outside and taking second position without 5-second time penalty. That's going to be a very big detriment to him. His teammates down in 22nd, and there were rumours after Belgium that's LeBeau into the wall again. There were rumours after Germany that Hyperdrive Racing would replace one of their drivers next season. Considering that Daf Sanchez is leading the points, and this isn't Williams in 1996, there's a very low possibility that it's the man who's likely to give the team their third consecutive World Drivers' Championship. They are likely going to fire Davi Sir Carrera into the pits for both Daf Sanchez and Nicholas Palomino. Cornwell comes in as well, so 5-second time penalties are going to be served here. Ocampo moving up into 13th as he stays out. Perez still leading this race from Takahana and Vanselao. And just on that note, if Sir Carrera is replaced down at Hyperdrive, who are they going to put into that car? Obviously, they've got the partnership they have with Envision Racing in the FG series, so Ica World could try and drive an ERL OT for the first time in his career. Moises Lima could come up. But there have been rumblings that they're looking at potentially Ash Cornwell to take that seat, which is very, very interesting to hear, as here comes Matthew Hart. Side by side, forces Austin close to off the track and makes the pass up into 6th place. 13 seconds is the gap between first and second. Guillermo Perez has this race won. As long as Target Chip Ganassi know what they're doing on the strategy front, this is Perez's race to lose. And for that, number 21 of Matthew Hart holding on to 6th place now. Forsyth Racing seemingly finally working out all of those unlucky moments they've had at the start of the season. It looks like finally they're going to have a more consistent, a more successful second half of the season. And if you want to try and help them out in their venture as we begin lap 7 of 11, well, you can give any one of these ChampCar World Series drivers your vote in the fan boost poll in the description of this race. You can vote for as many as 3 drivers as many times as you want, as in comes Vita Al, so Campo with the fastest lap at 1:31.2. And the top 3 in the polls for the fan vote, they will get a speed buff for the final 3 races of the season, which are fast approaching. We've got 3 rounds to go before the ChampCar World Series fan boost poll ends. 6 rounds to go in Formula E before their fan boost poll ends as well. And so here comes Ocampo with more power in that Power Motorsport car than the KV Racing Lotus. For Dominic Vancelau, they're going side by side anyway, and in fact Vancelau somehow managing to hold on to 2nd place. But not forever. There goes Ocampo back up into 2nd position. And Matthew Hart actually quite close to these guys. Tyre strategy, we've already seen tyres blow up earlier on in this race. We don't know how this race is going to end in terms of positioning or tyres, but expect some tyres to blow up on the final lap. There's a 5-second time penalty for Casper LeBeau for track limits. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, I have to say. That is quite embarrassing to see. I understand time penalties for contact because they are very strict in the ERL. But track limits, they're very often quite lenient. Like, you can cut across the bus stop chicane, no problem. So we're on to lap 8 of 11. Perez comes in, straps on some soft compound tyres, your race leader, with an indomitable lead right now. He's going to still re-emerge, heading down into La Source in the lead. 2 seconds in front of his teammate, Nicholas Palomino, who's still got at least one more stop in this race. And your boy runs up in 3rd for Conquest. Almost forced off the track there for Bogdasarov. Takahana making his presence known as they're going to go side by side, heading down the hill and into Eau Rouge Radion. And Bogdasarov just about holding on to that 4th place. Had to turn up the volume there, because I'm getting barely anything through my headphones, so I don't know if it sounds good for you or if it's better now. As now Bogdasarov up into 3rd, Takahana trying to make the lunge on the KV Racing driver. He can't get it to work. Not quite yet. Remy LeBeau with a 3rd and final track limits warning in 8th place. And Takahana still doing what he can, still doing all he can to hold on to that fight for 3rd, and he's taking the position away from the Frenchman behind him now. 25% after 2 laps, and that's at 36. Your boy, what's he looking at? 23%. So the hard tyres are really the end of race tyres that you want to be on, because you can stretch them out a little longer. For Guillermo Perez, 3 laps on the softs seems quite tricky. It's not impossible. It's just unlikely as he goes on to begin lap 9. He's got his teammate quite a ways behind him now, and we expect to see Palomino come down to the pit lane. In fact, I expect to see quite a lot of drivers come down into the pits at the end of this lap. Takahana staying out. What about Bogdasarov? He comes in. Hernandez is down into pit lane. Your boy comes in. Sanchez is in. Remy LeBeau comes in. Cornwell stays out. And for the Dale Coyne driver who started this race in 3rd, that's for track position. He cannot do another lap on those hard compound tyres. That's just not possible. The team's telling their drivers to try and conserve tyre right now. That's all they really can do, as Ocampo going side by side with Ash Cornwell, moving up onto the podium positions for number 76, the 2-time Formula E champion, who this season in Formula E hasn't really had the best of times. Almost certainly needs to look at this season as a bit of a building season before season 28, of course, with that new team next DVTCR. Ash Cornwell dropping off the back of the Power Motorsport man, in fact, as Austin drops to P6 behind Matthew Hart. Daf Sanchez outside of the points for now, but of course we do still expect quite a lot of the drivers in front of them to come into the pits, and if they don't, that would be very bad for their tyre situation. And Davi Cerqueira has stayed out for his 4th lap on that set of hards. It's over. Finally over. It's done. He's at 8% coming through Sector 2 as Guillermo Perez begins the penultimate lap at 46. These guys are cutting it quite close. The only one that I would be somewhat confident in the top 6 in terms of making it to the end is Sebastian Ocampo. The rest of them is hit or miss. And I'm honestly seeing, on my graphs here, a lot more misses than hits. Here comes Matthew Hart, winner last time out, going side by side and in front of Ash Cornwell, who's on his 4th lap on that same set of hards. We're going to see a lot of tyres blowing up on this lap as Garcia's rear right tyre for Nunez Garcia has gone full car puncture for Davi Cerqueira, as we've got yellows, and that's Verslio into the back of Nunez Garcia. Casper Labori catching Davi Cerqueira, who comes down to pit lane. And that was a very early time for something like that to happen. Garcia's going to come in almost certainly. Perez leading this with Vancelau now getting a 3rd and final track limits warning. These tyres are going to go pop. Trust me on this one. Vita Alves at 4%. I'm not going to track any of these tyres anymore. I'm going to let it happen. These tyres are going to blow up. 1% for the Lotus Dragon driver coming through Blanchimont. He hits 0 from 7th place after just 3 laps on the same set of softs. Vita Alves soft compound tyres have bit the bullet, bit the dust, whatever you want to say. Guillermo Perez is now on to his final lap. Can he win this? In comes Nunez Garcia, as that is the conquest of Ahmed Celia going by. Remy Lebeau and his teammate Lam Fong going past as well. There were rumours of Lam Fong and Remy Lebeau staying as teammates at Forsyth, but that just didn't come to fruition. And on this final lap, 24 seconds the margin. I think Perez is still going to win this. And the caution comes out. It's Verslio out with what seems to be a power unit failure. And your boy now getting a time penalty running into the back of Daf Sanchez coming through the hill. And full car puncture for Sims Takahana. Ocampo at 23%. What about Matthew Hart? He's at 13. This is very touch and go right now. 0% for Francis Austin heading down into Eau Rouge. His tyres have just blown. Cornwell's tyres have blown. We go back under the green flags. This is very treacherous territory for all of the drivers right now. Ocampo has moved up into 2nd place. 19 seconds the margin. Garcia with a time penalty. Who's he running to the back of? I don't know. We got yellows in Sector 1. Who is that for? That seems to be for a blue car. I don't know who that is. Is that for Lam Fong? It is. He's got front wing damage. Shen has been hit, spun round, and that's the conquest of Ahmed Celia as well, who's got that full car puncture. As Vita Alves rises up the hill. Full car puncture for race leader Guillermo Perez as well. Can Sebastian Ocampo take his first ChampCar World Series race win, as Matthew Hart behind him getting a full car puncture with Dal Bogdasarov close in chase. Lam Fong off the track there with Sims Takahana. A chaotic final lap here. Bogdasarov with a time penalty. He's running to the back of Matthew Hart as he comes into the final chicane. Is it enough for Guillermo Perez with the yellow flag still flying in Sector 2? Charles Hernandez off the track. Sebastian Ocampo makes the pass and he takes victory in the ChampCar Trophy of Belgium. 2nd place for Perez, 2 seconds down, and that is unfathomable. These Firestone tyres, I say it so many times across the season that you might not believe me, but trust me when I say this is not what's meant to happen with these Firestones. They blew up here in Belgium today as they come through the bus stop chicane one more time up front. Vancelau, he's going to hold on to 10th place here with Garcia a lap down. Off the track there for Lam Fong and into the back of Danny Ortega. That's highly unfortunate for both of them. The Sims driver is going to be 13th and 15th is Sir Carrera, who came into the pits to service that full car puncture, is going to be 14th. I wonder what this means for the championship. Sir Carrera with the fastest lap. That is, however, Daf Sanchez's 5th place and Sebastian Ocampo's first ChampCar World Series race win. Everyone's in the final sector, thankfully. For Cornwell, that was a top 3 start, and once again in this ChampCar World Series season, Dale Coyne Racing facing misfortune after a brilliant qualifying. I don't really have too much to say at this point, other than, wow. We were seeing tyres blowing up at every phase of this race since lap 4. Every single moment, a tyre went bang. I don't know what to say other than just that. At the very least, this was actually one of the shorter races this season in terms of time. Here's your podium then. Sebastian Ocampo taking victory here in Belgium with the 2 Target Chip Ganassi drivers on the podium alongside him. That, of course, being Guillermo Perez, who Ocampo just managed to catch on that final lap, and Nicholas Palomino in 3rd. As for the rest of your finishers, Daniel Bogdasarov 4th from Daf Sanchez and Charles Hernandez. Then it's Matthew Hart, your boy, in 8th from Remy LeBeau and Dominic Vancelau, the top 10. Outside of it, Danny Ortega was 11th from Casper LeBeau and Lam Fong. Then it's Davi Sir Carrera, Kazuki Sims Takahana, Ray Shen, Francis Austin, Ash Cornwell, Ahmed Celia, Vita Alves, and Nunez Garcia, with Verstio being the only non-finisher. Daf Sanchez still holds the points lead. He is 27 points up on Guillermo Perez. Then it's Nicholas Palomino, Sebastian Ocampo tied on points with Casper LeBeau, who's dropped down quite a ways down the order. In fact, Nunez Garcia is 6th from your boy and Ray Shen. Then it's Francis Austin, Dominic Vancelau tied on points with Matthew Hart. Matthew Hart would be in front on countback with his race win, of course. Then it's Daniel Bogdasarov, 1 point back from both of them. Then it's Verstio, Sir Carrera, Hernandez, Vita Alves, Sims Takahana tied on points with Remy LeBeau. Then it's Lam Fong, Cornwell, Celia, and Ortega. In the Constructors' Championship, heading into the next round of the championship, as I've already just said twice for no reason, Target Chip Ganassi now leads on 119 points from Hyperdrive Racing and Andretti Korean Racing. Then it's Power Motorsport in 4th from Sims Racing and KV Racing Technologies. Dale Coyne Racing is 7th from Team Foresight and Conquest Racing in 9th. Then it's Dragon Racing and Team Penske. After such a chaotic race, and this being the race results in terms of points for all of the drivers, we now have a man who has not finished in 2 of the races so far this season and has not won a single race this season, now 2nd in points. That is the chaos and the benefit of consistency, actually, in terms of your finishes. What will happen in round number 8? Who knows? You'll have to tune in for that. Again, if you want to help out any of these drivers, you can vote for them in the Fan Boost poll. But from all of us here at Sparkplug Motorsport and Sparkplug Motorsport 2, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time then when the Electric Racing League returns.